Hey, welcome back everybody. This is Sugar Sean bringing you The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Nintendo Switch. Your affirmation for today is I am successful even if it means I have to find success in my failures. Again, I am successful even if it means finding success in my failures. We all live and learn, right? Alright. And with that, we are continuing our shrine hunt for all the shrines. Actually, I actually already got some marked on the map. Still headphones. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day and being safe. So yeah, there's a lot of Switch rumors going around of a new revision Switch. I think, at this point in time in the Switch's life cycle, it kind of needs, the next Nintendo system, but also be backwards compatible. I know a lot of people are having mixed feelings on whether they should just be called something different and just be backwards compatible, like a new Nintendo console of sorts, or just be called like something like the Super Nintendo Switch, the SNES. I think that would be pretty cool. Alright, so there's one right here. And huh. What's up, guys? Pump it up, brother. This is our ancestral training ground. Us three Goron blood brothers are in the midst of a contest of endurance. Feel the burn, brother. Really? Contest of endurance. We're training to become the strong and powerful Gorons. Right now, we are competing to beat the heat. So sweaty, brother. We are Gorons, but the heat is so much for us these days. It's too hot to handle in Goron City, so we came here to train ourselves. I have an idea. Come join us. Sure, because the more the merrier, right? Yeah, come and try the contest of endurance for yourself, brother. Sure, I'll give it a try. Good answer. A guy like you has a burning passion in his belly. It's inspiring, brother. When you're ready, come onto the platform, then the contest of endurance will commence. Alright. Do we have what we need? Don't. You can't just make a cooking pot wherever. But I doubt this will even help, to be honest. Sort. Oh, that's right. We don't have the helm. I don't know if we'll be able to do this just right now. Is it cheating if I eat while I'm on here? If you're gonna pass out, it's over. You got. Prepare your fellows for the contest of endurance. Go!
Urbosa's fury is ready.
So we survived that test. Amazing! I never would have thought of 3 Goron brothers could lose to you, brother. In fact, I'm granting you the highest honor, the chance to participate in the contest of the ultimate endurance. Where is our ancestors' trade? It is considered the toughest test known to Goron kind. You see the ring behind me, the run surrounded in fire. Do you feel it in your gut? What a bad idea it is to go there. Your gut is dead on, brother. That special training even harder than the last room. This contest won't just challenge you with heat, but also with fire. If you lose your focus, your body will catch fire. Make sure you are prepared for this, brother. I said it. That passing test will reveal a shrine or some such. If you think you're ready, then climb into the ring. Do that, and our special contest will begin. The ultimate endurance will begin, huh? The heat-resistant gear you have there, brother? A real Goron man wouldn't rely on such woodsy stuff like that. Go up, Goron. Take the challenge without any help. Without any help, huh? I wonder if we'll survive it. Standing there, which is the only mean one thing. You're ready to push yourself to the limits, brother. Rules, less conscience and endurance the same as ever. Leaving the ring or fate, it is over. Okay, it's time for the world famous contents of the ultimate endurance. Go! Not getting hurt at all. The real trial by fire, brother.
Yeah.
Gotta get burned out. So epic, brother. What power display, what fire, well, that was something else, brother. Here we go. Oh, it's a shrine, or some as such. It's really appeared just like that, so the legend is true, brother. You won the contest of ultimate endurance, little man. You're amazing. Good job, Link. Alrighty. Here we go. down into the depths. More puzzle. To you who sets foot in this shrine, I am Jolo Naha. In the name of the goddess Haida, I offer this trial. That one seems pretty easy. I heard there were certain puzzles that they wanted to do in this one, but they couldn't because of certain requirements not being met. As far as the tech, the Wii U was made with this in mind, but the whole double screen couldn't do what they wanted to. I'm curious as to what kind of puzzles and such they have. Oh. Apparently I did that a different way. Okay. That could... No, that can't be shut down. Ah. What does this do? Is there a button over here? No, just the one. I'm curious. Okay, I get it. The Gerudo Spear. But we're gonna put this thing. Not all these puzzles I've done, so I don't know if you've already noticed, but some of these guys, like, I've been doing them for the first time. I think it's best if I have it like this. That way I can do that, do that. That should do it. There we go. Your resourcefulness in overcoming this trial speaks to the promise of the hero. The name God is highly I bestow upon you this spirit ore. May the goddess smile upon you, and may you rest in peace. I'm curious as to how they're gonna update some of their old games because I feel like they're gonna go in a few patches. Because I don't know if it was a rumor or if it was actually true, but there was Nintendo was telling their developers to go and make a 4K patch. So we know at some point they're gonna want their game running in 4K. Whether it's with this new system or not, I'm not quite sure. There was like a memo. And if there's anything to satisfy certain gamers on Breath of the Wild, maybe those who haven't jumped in it, or those who are wanting to jump into it again, a 4K patch I think would actually be just that. Not to mention the rumors of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, which have yet to still be announced, which I would say it most definitely would, because it would just help the sales of the Switch, even on the standard models. To use that's what in the shrine, Daza Kaaso, in the name of the goddess highly I offer this combat track. And then there's also the game that I feel like they're gonna release it at some point, only because of it didn't sell as good as it should have on the Wii U because of the amount of units the Wii U had. But Xenoblade Chronicles X, I think, is a game that will eventually be announced because it'd be absurd with the amount of popularity after Pyre and Mythic got announced. Yeah. The Xenoblade series is on up. Your triumph over this test of straight subverts the privacy room from the ashes of a hero rises. In the name God is high that I bestow upon you the spirit orb. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has sold out in Japan. So I definitely see them releasing, and got a smile upon it. And supposedly changing their netcode for multiplayer, and with the new system coming out, definitely seems like old games will be receiving a performance patch, is what I would think it'd be called. But it would be nice seeing this game in 4K. And I could see a lot of people replaying this game in 4K. Like, I played this game so many times. I thought I was just about tired with it and done everything, but since they came out with a 4K patch, what the heck? I'll jump into it again. I mean, how many people who have 4K television screens nowadays? My bad, Link. Here, let's do this. Let's top your health up. Do 2 apples. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the Nintendo Switch at some point in its future, or Nintendo in general, at some point in its future, ends up doing a Nintendo system where there's actually a second screen on your controller, kind of like Sony's touchpad, but an actual touch screen. I could see that. That way they can bring some of the back of those old dual touchscreen functionality. About the same size as PlayStation's touchpad they got. That was an actual screen, they could do a lot more with it. Just a touchpad that clicks in. Because one of the things that Xenoblade Chronicles X had was that dual touchscreen functionality. Which they can edit that, of course. And some of the old Zelda games that Grizzle remade for the 3DS, a lot of your UI was just on that bottom screen. And if you look at the PlayStation 4 controller, if that was a screen instead, I could see Nintendo doing something. But that would mean your controller would be more expensive. And they would have to, keyword, have to, fix their Joy-Con problem. Because that's a decent sized little square pad that's in that PlayStation 4 controller. To use that's foot in the shrine, I am Rota Hall. In the name of the gods highly, I offer this trial. And if you look at that little screen on the bottom of the 3DS, and then you look at the size of the PlayStation 4's touchpad, or touchpad's, I would say, is smaller, but not by much. Can't do that. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I honestly think that them focusing on their controller like that would be a smart move. They could bring back some of those old touch pad functionalities that they spent so much time on. And also bringing some 3DS games back. There's some 3DS games that maybe they wanted to bring to the Switch, but they couldn't because of the dual screen functionality. And you know how Nintendo are with their legacy games. They want to pretty much make it to where they last forever. And they got a lot of 3DS titles that have yet to be re-released or even been able to come to other platforms because of it. You know, maybe the Wii U because it's dual screen, but not the Switch. Because once you dock it, like, that's the whole problem. You dock it and then it's on the TV only. You can't have it, the game running like the Wii U did on a separate system and then have that separate screen. Now, depending on how they do this next dock, perhaps they can do something like put your cartridge inside the dock system on its own, much like the Wii U was, and then you can tether your Switch to the dock to where you can start using some of those old touchpad functionalities again. That could be a possibility. So yeah, I'm curious as to what Nintendo's going to be doing for their next system, just in general. Because I really don't feel like they're going to want to give up the Switch lineup. It's going to have to be something that's going to be backwards compatible because this has been the best selling system for them, and it's been becoming the best selling system since the PlayStation 2, and it's catching up to its numbers. So what can Nintendo do in order to keep the Switch from dying? Really? And I think doing a dock, much like having a dock, kind of like the Wii U had, where your system, that little SD, the Switch cartridge goes into the dock, and it's like its own separate tower. And then what you would do is you would dock existing systems into it. Kind of like thinking like this. Like the Nintendo Wii U, that little tower bit, being the dock. And you could slide your Switch into it. Doesn't matter if it's an old model or the new OLED model. But instead of sliding it into it, you link your Switch to it, basically, by wirelessly. And you put your cartridge in there. Because that's what people are used to, sliding the Switch into the dock in order to give it that performance boost. Well, what if your dock, you don't slide it into it, you just put the cartridge into it, and you link your Switch to it just like the Wii U did. Then, technically, any Switch model can be upgraded. Because you wouldn't be using the performance inside of your Switch, you'd be using your performance that's in the new dock, the dock 2.0, I guess you can call it. Except you don't actually dock your Switch into it. You link it to it. Using, the same wireless technology that the Wii U had. And if we haven't, people have been wondering, why haven't we gotten Xenoblade Chronicles X? That may be why. They may want to keep some of that dual screen functionality. And then that will make it to where, yeah, every Switch, even the Switch Lite, could be upgraded to 4K because it's not requiring on its internals in the system that it, that's already there. It's using the internals of the new dock that doesn't require you to actually slide your Switch into it. You just put your cartridge inside of it. It kind of runs like the Wii U did, like a separate console. And all we use, all current Switch models, even the new one that's OLED, 720p, portable, all of them, you could still keep. You just wouldn't be able to use your old dock in order to get that upgrade. You'd have to get the new dock. So, let's say you just bought a Switch model or whatever. Well, then you just buy the Switch 2.0. You wouldn't buy the new Switch altogether. You didn't want that OLED screen, like, oh, I don't care about OLED. I don't care about the that Switch model, but I do care about the upgrade performance that you get. Well, then I'm pretty sure you could just have it Nintendo's style of the dock separate. And it'd probably be cheaper because it doesn't, and then that would also eliminate because some of the wires that you have, whatnot. Possibly, I don't know. I mean, you put your dock into your Switch, and it doesn't really add any wires. But I don't know. It could be an interesting concept, I think, for Nintendo to better make a better dock that's kind of like its own separate console. Kind of like only a home console version. I think that would be better than making the internals of the next Switch more powerful to the point to where now only the newer models get or get the better version. The older models get it. So yeah, that's what I think what's gonna happen. The new Switch is gonna get Dock 2.0, where you can actually insert your cartridge into it. Instead of it being a disc like the Wii U, it's a cartridge slot. It's its own separate system. And you can play home consoles that way, but if you want to play portably, then you still need a Switch. And I'm not sure if the internals of this next Switch is going to be more powerful or not. There's already rumors and certain statements being made with Nvidia that they're stopped making the SoC, the certain current Switch model chips, which could potentially say, oh yeah, next Switch internals is going to be more powerful. But I just don't see Nintendo wanting to lose their already existing user base, because that's the whole thing that makes them attractive. So yeah, I think a dock 2.0 is definitely in the works. And instead of something fancy where you're actually sliding your Switch into it, it's more of like you take the actual cartridge and you put it into a separate console-like system, much like the Wii U. Kind of like this, home console kind of thing, with better 4K visuals, 2.0, DLSS, that sort of thing being integrated into it. Me, I'd still probably want the OLED 720 model, but I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting. I figured it out, but messed up. Gotta do bullet time, or arrow time. There we go. Figured it out. And if they do that, then that means the internal from the Dock 2.0 could be a lot more powerful. The resourcefulness in overcoming this trial speaks to the promise of a hero. And then God is high, I bestow upon you this vigor orb. And it doesn't, and that also means that this Dock 2.0 doesn't have to be constrained to a mobile chipset. It could be more powerful. That of like the size of the Wii U. If you had that size and then you put a new GPU in that, you can get a lot more better performance. May the goddess smile upon you. May you rest in peace. You know, because they were saying that the next Switch is supposed to have specs that equivalent to the PlayStation 4 standard model. And I just don't see them having that much horsepower on a mobile chipset with the amount of cooling. So this dock is going to be something that is going to be its own separate thing, I feel like. And then you can see something like Nintendo rocking something like maybe, because if it's going to be using tensor cores, it's going to have to be maybe a custom 2060 RTX 2060 custom chip base model, because the tensor cores are what makes DLS 2.0 possible, and that isn't really anything on their mobile chipsets. So yeah, I honestly think their dock is going to be something that's universally upgradable upon all Switch models, but it's going to give you more of that home theater console like, playset, you know. And you're probably going to be able to play games without having to have an actual Switch, but you're going to be constrained like a normal, and at home console model kind of thing. Meaning the second Switch dock, I feel like you're going to be able to play games
Shiva's grace
without
is
even
ready.
needing your mobile Switch there. Like if you have a Pro controller and this dock 2.0, you have some Switch games you could play on your TV without needing your actual Switch. To use its foot in the shrine, I am Latia Lawa or Satiawa, named goddess. I offer this trial. One moment, guys. And if that's the case, then you can also do things like, let's say you have a Switch game and you take off, your brother's wanting to play, and you leave your Switch game at home. You have a digital version that you keep with you on your actual device. Well, you can use your dock, play at home, console theater way, and much like the Wii U did, and you can play your games when you're not home. And that does seem like a very Nintendo thing to do, to be honest. way to not alienate their existing hardware, at the same time giving them the performance that they really need. I don't know, I've been keeping track for Nintendo for a while, and that honestly seems like the right move to go in. And it seems like a very Nintendo-y thing to do. And if you get that Dock 2.0 or whatever it's going to be called, then everyone's going to be running at the same performance, whether you're a light user, you know, original Switch user, you know, the Switch, you know, revision, or the new Switch. When you're docked to that system, you're still getting the same performance across the board. Your resourcefulness in overcoming this trial speaks to the promise of a hero. In the name God is highly, I bestow upon you this spirit orb. Another spirit required. May the goddess smile upon you, and may you rest in peace. So yeah, everyone's gonna be getting an upgrade. More than likely, it's gonna be something, I think, in that nature, to where everyone's gonna have to upgrade, maybe not their physical Switch for mobile gaming, but for their home gaming, they're gonna have to get that Switch 2.0 dock. And maybe you don't want to do mobile gaming. That Switch 2.0, like if your home console gaming is the only thing you want, there may be a possibility that you could do something similar to that with certain games. Few sets for the shrines, I am Maya, Toma, and the name of God's Haya after this trial. But certain games I'm pretty sure are going to require that you own a Switch if it requires dual screen functionality. If it requires that, then yeah, you're most likely gonna need a Switch. But if it's something like this, Breath of the Wild, where all you need is a Pro controller, you may be able to play it just as is, just as long as you had a controller. Which would actually be smart of Nintendo to do something like that, because that would mean more software sales if they did that. If they did that, that would definitely mean more software sales, because somebody's at home playing on the Dock 2.0, are gonna want to probably buy some games of their own while their brother's, out using his Switch mobilely. So if you ever wondered why there's ever a point to owning two versions of Smash Bros, that might be one. Because your brother can play off of his Switch using the standard old dock, maybe on a separate TV, but he buys the Switch 2.0 because he has a 4K screen. Then both of you guys could be playing Smash Bros. He could be playing 4K while you're playing in 1080p, or yeah, on your normal Switch using the old dock on a different TV. That would definitely help Nintendo's sales department. Because then you're gonna want multiple copies for some games. So yeah, if this ends up being true, just know that I called it. It seems likely. So yeah, I called it as of March 9th, 2021. You were sorry for resistance and overcoming this trial, speaks the promise of a hero. In the name of God is high, the eyes bestow upon you this spirit orb. I mean, I called it that the next Nintendo Switch system is going to use DLS 2.0. Everyone's saying it. Like, I was calling it the moment they announced DLS 2.0 because I knew Nvidia was a partner of Nintendo. Nintendo was trying to get the amount of performance per watt on a mobile chip. And that's part of the reason why they're going to OLED. Because once the screen goes black, it goes black. Like, it turns off. Meaning you save power. Longer battery. Yeah, I was watching the keynote speech during Nvidia when they announced it years back before it even became a PC thing, and I'm like, that's going to be used in the next Nintendo system. There wasn't any article, wasn't any videos being put out, but I also didn't have the setup to actually really put up YouTube videos at the time, but it just made sense. I mean, why wouldn't you? If you're a partner with these guys, Nvidia, why wouldn't you use DLS 2.0? In your system? And you guys are probably wondering, why isn't Microsoft and Sony using it? Well, they're partnered with AMD. And AMD are trying to play catch up to Nvidia as far as deep learning subsampling. DLSS. They're trying to make their own version of it. To you, sets foot in the shrines, I am Rin Oya in the name of the gods high off of this trial. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo helped funded that project, DLS 2.0. Or if Nvidia had it in mind because of the Switch. Pretty sure I just did this the easy way. Or another way. Your resourcefulness in overcoming this drought speaks to the promise of a hero. The name God is high that I bestow upon you this spirit orb. So yeah, this Switch 2.0. I feel like it's going to be a custom 2060. And it's going to link to your Switch, basically. May the God smile upon you, and you rest in peace. Because in order to get DLS 2.0, you need tensor cores. And tensor cores, the lowest GPU that I found of NVIDIA's they had tensor cores in was an RTX 2060. Sorry, you're freezing your butt off. Let's go somewhere a little bit warmer. I'm curious as to what kind of cooling this system's gonna have though. This dock 2.0, like what kind of heat solution they're gonna have. Because that's a lot of the problems you've had when it comes to use it for this shrine. I am Shanae Loya in the name God is high the alpha this trial. A lot of problems you have with mobile gaming. I aim for the moment. Yeah, custom RTX 2060 just kind of cooling solution because that's usually what bottlenecks a lot of mobile GPUs. Like when it comes to laptops, like if you look at the 3080 and you look at the performance you get on a desktop and you look at the 3080 and the performance you get on a laptop, the reason why it seems like you're not getting as much as you would a desktop has a lot to do with the cooling solution. So I'm curious as to what in this Switch docked 2.0 they got as a cooling solution. Your resourcefulness in overcoming this drought speaks to the premise of a hero. In the name of the God is high, I bestow upon you the spirit orb. Another spirit orb acquired. You got 20 spirit orbs. In the name God has I smile upon you. May the God smile upon you. And may you rest in peace. But yeah, if you ever wonder that why you may have the same spec as your buddy and like I got the same GPU as my buddy. but you're running on a laptop. That's why. Your cooling solution is not going to be the same as his, and that often is what bottlenecks you in performance. You can have everything pretty much the same RAM, the same GPU, the same CPU, and everything, but because of the cooling, that's like your naysayer on how much performance you can actually get out of it. So, if you look at the 2060, you're probably thinking, dang, this is really nice performance. But you got to think, it's in a more compact form. It's going to be shrunk down to that of the size of maybe the Wii U. So what are the internals as far as a cooling solution? Because that's going to bottleneck what 2060 can put out. And if you think about, to you who sets foot in the shrine, I am Teneko Koisha, in the name of the goddess I offer this combat trial. It is a major test. Oh, goodness. But, you would look at the 2060 right now, and you're probably thinking, this thing's more powerful than a PlayStation 4. But you're not thinking of it in the sense that it's in a console form. It's not in a desktop form. It's not even in a laptop form. It's in a console-like form, that of like the Wii U. So its cooling solution is gonna bring it down. So it's gonna, remember how the rumors were saying that it's gonna be that powerful of like the base PlayStation 4? Well, if you look at the 2060, it's more powerful. But if you shrink down and consider the cooling solution, it probably puts it back into the range of what a PlayStation 4 probably is, if you think of it not having the same cooling internals as a desktop. Ooh, not good. We win! Thank you, Fierce DD Link. Yeah, I've been looking at all the rumors, I've been looking at all the specs, what Nvidia has available, and everything like that, so it seems very likely that I'm pretty much spot on. I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I honestly believe that I'm right. That's plus plus shield. This plus plus, that's plus plus. Everything plus plus. Okay. Took that. Got a picture of that. Alrighty. Yeah, because that's what you got to look at. You got to look at the 2060, and then you got to look at a 2060 paired back because of cooling solution and the internals of keeping the device cool without overheating is not going to be as good as a desktop. And consoles are like mini desktops, so better sometimes than a laptop, but not as good as an actual desktop. That's kind of what the cooling solutions sometimes can be as far as consoles are. Your triumph over the tested straits of birth and privacy ruined from the ashes of our hero rises. The name of the god is high up, slow upon you this spirit of arms. So that just about fits what rumors have been going on about. May the goddess smile upon you. Alright, well, that's it for this video, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. As always, live and learn. Take it easy.